It's time to dive into streaming services. There's some good, there's some bad. Okay, let's be honest about it, Zaslav. There's some stuff that's just downright ugly. And we're going to talk about all of it. And we can't not start with the Mouse House. You guys know we love Disney. It's no secret if you're a fan of this show. And if you're not, welcome to the show. We're big fans of Disney. So obviously we were going to discuss Disney Plus and Hulu. You could throw in ESPN Plus also because that is a part of the streaming. But we want to primarily focus on, and I think, content that's not sports oriented, but we will bring up sports because it is playing heavily into some of these streamers. Let's dive into it, man. Obviously, the good is that the Mouse House has so much freaking intellectual property that it can play off of, right? 100 years of Disney stuff, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, just you name it, it's got it, and it's generating content from it, right? And that's a good thing, right? I mean, we got the Daredevil, Born Again upcoming, constant. You got the Grogu movie coming, and just like, that's a good thing, right? I think pulling from a library of over 100 years of content and having a library full of pop culture content recent over the past 20 or 30 years, that is huge when you're trying to build something to get somebody to watch, right?
Well, it's very interesting because if you look at different streaming services that don't have like the massive already established IP like Netflix and Apple TV, because, Disney is basically piggybacking off of everything that they had in the past.
Sure.
Which is not a bad thing whatsoever. So it's very interesting to try to navigate if you're another streamer who is getting your feet wet, just starting out and trying to build that audience and build new content. Because I think if it wasn't for the historically established IP, take away Marvel, take away Star Wars, and take away all of the other big things that Disney Plus has going on their service, I don't honestly think it would be competing with Netflix. I think Netflix would be soaring past all of the other streamers if you just taken away Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios.
I would agree with you, right? Like, there's definitely... We can't say that there's no original series, because they're pumping out original series, but the original series is based on IP. Right? It might be original, but it's coming from an established IP that they own. So where is the risk taking? They're not taking any risk. They're putting out new content that nobody's seen before. It's original. It's set in a new time, or it's introducing a new character, but it is being generated from legacy content. And for me, I'm right there with you. I feel like you have to take risks. Give us a show that has nothing to do with anything Disney's ever done before. Pump out something so original you wouldn't even realize it was from the Mouse House. And that's where I think I agree with you, Disney is lacking. And I thought that maybe when Chapek was in charge, we would have maybe finally gone there, because he was all about quality over quantity. He was just pumping shit out. And I thought for sure he would try to put some stuff out that nobody's seen or heard of before, but he didn't. Even as bad as his reign was, Disney Plus and Hulu still didn't put out anything but established IP. And I think that is where, if I have any knock against them, that is it. I want to see some originality. Give me something that's not based on something that you own.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing too, because I feel like they're pushing themselves into a corner where they're kind of making their own little box of what they have, and you're not really going to deter from that box. You're not going to step outside those lines.